Nobody gets through life without getting hurt. I've learned a lot about the healing process when coming out of abusive, traumatic experiences, and that is my topic today. This video is part 2 of my last video titled, When Navigating Difficult People is Spiritual Warfare. That video surprisingly resulted in 80 new subscribers, so if that's you, welcome. I appreciated your comments. This obviously is a topic that people can relate to. There are several things you need to keep in mind when you're healing from any kind of hurtful experience. And the number one, is that your healing can't be rushed. And it's a big one because, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to pressure you into getting over it. You cannot rush your healing just to make other people comfortable. You need to give yourself permission to heal slowly, even if it takes years. There will be days where you're going to feel okay. And then there are going to be other days where that wound is going to feel as fresh as if it just happened. That's normal. Good days, bad days. It's completely normal. That's part of the healing process. And what you don't need during that time are people coming in and making you feel guilty for not getting over it. Forget it, move on. You'll hear this. Healing is a process. Abuse leaves scars. Trauma is traumatic. Healing takes time, and God would not say to you, time to get over it. He just would never say that to you. Love is patient. So if you have people around you who are pushing you, it's time to get over it, time to move on, they are not loving you in the way that the Bible tells us to love one another. Love is patient. Now, why does it take so long to heal? I'm going to answer this question by paraphrasing and quoting a video titled Healing After the Narcissist, What God Says About Recovery. You can find that at Biblical Life Hacks. That's the YouTube channel name. I'm also going to be paraphrasing, or I'm also going to be adding my own comments, as well as paraphrasing and quoting from the video. So why does it take so long to heal? First of all, you've been deeply hurt. Secondly, they silenced your voice. So your opinion did not matter. What you wanted did not matter. So they minimized you, made you feel small and insignificant. They made you doubt yourself, saying things like, it's all your fault, you're the problem, you don't handle people right, you don't handle problems right, you're too sensitive, you're crazy, you're overreacting, you have mental issues, and 1,001 other things. So they made you doubt yourself, and they also twisted your sense of reality, which is gaslighting. And I made a video titled, Don't Gaslight Me, I Know My Reality. You can catch that video on my self-empowerment or maybe spiritual warfare playlist if you're not sure what gaslighting is. Because a couple years ago I didn't know myself. So now, everything I mentioned, they hurt you, they silenced your voice, they made you doubt yourself, they twisted your sense of reality. That is a lot to recover from and rebuild. Quote, that doesn't happen overnight, and the Bible never says that it should. Rebuilding always takes longer than destruction. Narcissists don't just hurt you, they make you question who you are, and healing requires you to face those lies and replace them with truth. So, part of the healing process is regaining a positive self-image by speaking truth about yourself. You're going to have to say things to yourself like, I'm not the problem. I'm the one who was mistreated. I'm not overreacting. I'm not too sensitive. They told me that to gaslight me into thinking that I am the problem. These are the things you need to say to yourself because these are the truths. So Another thing is only God can see your heart. You know, when someone tells you that you're being unforgiving, or now you're the one who's being mean, or you're being prideful after you step away from any kind of mistreatment, maybe you go into solitude, you're not responding to anyone, and they come at you with all these accusations. What they're doing is they're playing God, because only God can see into a person's heart and know the true intentions that that person has. If you are being unforgiving or prideful, God will deal with you. But what you don't need while you're healing is people coming in and accusing you of conditions in your heart that simply are not there. You know, you might go off on some rant, venting your frustration, and then someone will look at that and say, you seem really proud of yourself, or, you know, proud of the way you're handling all this. God knows the difference between pride and frustration. He knows what's in your heart. And He would not accuse you of unforgiveness. You know, when the real problem is a lack of trust. You know, I made a video titled, Your Trauma Response is Not Unforgiveness, and that was tied to a longer video titled, Don't Be a Doormat for Someone Who Will Never Change. And in that video I talked about trauma responses, and if you've ever been through any kind of trauma, you probably should watch that video if you don't know what I mean by a trauma response. You know, maybe you experienced this type of thing before. When a present situation triggers the pain of a past hurt, that's a trauma response. So you don't need to feel guilty or apologize for wanting to step away and protect yourself, especially if you're having a trauma response. Like, I've been through this before, this feels familiar. That's a trauma response. So after you've been abused or you experienced any kind of trauma, your guard is going to be up. And that's number 4. You will become hyper aware of any red flag warnings that this person is not safe. Maybe it'll be a certain look that they give you, a snarky comment, an oversight on their part that lands in your heart as a disrespect. Quote, that's not paranoia, that's wisdom bought at a high price. You're going to zero in on all those danger signs. And that quote is from the YouTube channel Biblical Life Hacks, the video Healing After the Narcissist. So you are allowed to be cautious. You've earned that right, so stand up for that right. You know, your healing might look like you're being really, really careful for a while. And if people don't understand that, let them not understand. It is biblical to be cautious about trusting people who betrayed you. You can read the story of Joseph as an example, and Matthew 10:14 says, if anyone does not welcome you, leave the house and the town and shake the dust off your feet. 2 Timothy 3:1-5. It gives a long list of the types of people that we are told to avoid. Proverbs 27:12. A wise, shrewd person discerns the danger ahead and prepares himself, but the naive simpleton never looks ahead. So to be extra cautious after you've been hurt, that's wisdom. It's not something that people should be guilting you or mocking you about. And then, number 5, only God understands your pain. This is a big one. Most people will not truly understand the trauma of what you've been through until it actually happens to them. They're just not going to get it. So you kind of have to let go of the need to be understood, especially by someone who has never truly listened or cared. Your loyalty should be to the will of God, so you shouldn't care about the opinions of people, and I know that's hard. You should not crave their approval or their understanding, and I know that's hard. I made that mistake. Don't chase after the people who rejected you trying to explain yourself. Now, I do believe it's right to confront people, It's actually biblical to call out bad behavior, to go to someone who hurt you and talk about it. That's biblical. There's a verse in the Bible that instructs exactly how to go about that. You go to them directly. If they don't listen, then you take a witness along with you and try again. And if that doesn't work, then you get the church involved. That is in the Bible. What I'm warning about is, don't expect this to make you feel better. I made the mistake of trying for months to try to get a situation straightened out. And the thing is, if the people who hurt you can't own their mistakes, there's no way you can get it straightened out. So chasing after them and trying to make them see how much they hurt you and expecting apologies and, explaining yourself, all of that, it could end up making you feel worse. It's a warning. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of that. You're going to want to do that. But it could end up making you feel worse. You could end up even more frustrated and even more hurt when you go through all that. So, take your hurts to God and look to Him for understanding. Psalm 34:18 says that God is close to the brokenhearted. So, if you are brokenhearted, if you're hurting deeply, all you need to do is go in His presence and talk to Him. He's not going to chase after you and comfort you. You're going to have to go to Him. God does not force Himself on anybody. But He already knows that you're hurting, and He wants you to come into His presence and talk to Him. And when you do, you will feel that comfort because it's biblical. It says God is close to the brokenhearted. You will feel His presence. You'll feel His comfort. And that's exactly what you need. The Bible does not lie. God is close to the brokenhearted. And if you need to talk to a person, that's understandable. Sometimes a back-to-back conversation is something people crave, and I craved that myself when I was hurting. But you need to find someone safe. Someone that you can trust, and safe people are hard to find, from my experience. Because a safe person is not going to minimize what happened to you. A safe person is not going to pressure you into healing faster than you can. They will allow you to heal at your own pace. They're not going to blame you. They're not going to add to your pain by pointing out all the things you're doing wrong, all the things you've done wrong in the whole situation, and all the things you're doing wrong now that you're trying to heal. They're not going to give you a long list of that. When you vent your hurts to others, just a warning, you will not always be met with empathy and understanding, even from people that you expect it from. Perhaps my biggest lesson about healing from deep hurts is that one right there, to take my pain to God, not people. Because He is the only one who can defend me. He's the best defender. He's the best comforter. And He's the only one who actually understands what I went through and how much I'm hurting. Because He was there and He saw the whole thing. He saw all of it. God is everywhere. He sees everything. He knows exactly how long that was going on, every little thing that you went through from every person that He knows all of it. He's the only one that can completely understand. So, the last thing is to pray. Pray as you're healing. Ask God to protect your mind, because you're going to be rehashing conversations. Your mind is going to be it's going to be hard to focus on other things. You need to ask Him for a calm mind, a clear mind, heal all this stuff so I don't sit here and think about this all the time. Ask Him to give you things to take your mind off of it. There's a whole list of things you could be asking for peace, him to send people to be a comfort to you, maybe a long lost friend that you haven't spoken to in a long time. You pray and they show up or call you. God can do so many things. He did that for me recently. Someone that I hadn't talked to for more than a year just texted me after a really, really hard thing that I went through. That was God. That was God sending a friend back into my life because he knew I needed a fun day, a comfort day, someone to talk to. God's amazing the way he'll do those sort of things at just the right time. You also pray that he'll protect your identity, because there's a good chance that if you went through it with some people, they're now gossiping about you, trashing your reputation, trashing your name, because they don't want to look like the bad guy. They don't want to look like they're the ones at fault. So they're going to make you look bad, spread lies, gossip about you. So ask him to protect your identity, your reputation. He finds a way to reveal truth. I know about conversations that people had about me that I wasn't even there, but I know about it. God will reveal who's for you, who's against you, what they're saying about you. It really is amazing. When you get close to God, it's like he gives you this knowing that is so incredible. It's supernatural. There's no other way to describe it. It's just supernatural. And he does this only because he wants you to know who's for you, who's against you. He wants to warn you about danger, people who are unsafe. He wants to keep you away from them. So if you know by the conversations they're having about you, then you know they got some maturing to do, and you need to stay away from them until their hearts are right. God just has a way of just putting this knowing about people into your heart and your mind. So be sure to pray, and pray against the spiritual forces that are operating in those who hurt you. And I know about that because I went through that. There was a spiritual force operating in me at one time. This can happen to anybody. Something as simple as feeling guilty about something, unforgiveness. There's a whole long list of things that can open doors to being used by the enemy. So when I say narcissist and I talk about people being spiritually having a stronghold on them, this is something that I don't look down and think they're terrible people, because I went through it myself. They just need to realize that that's what's happening to them. And a lot of times they don't. So they think that I'm, accusing them of something horrible, when actually this can happen to anybody. So you need to pray against those spiritual forces that are operating in the lives of those who came against you. You just came out of a spiritual battle. It was intense. It was the kind of thing that can bring people to the point of them not really wanting to be here anymore. Some people can be pushed to that point in a thing like this. Spiritual battles are intense, and they are hurtful, and they do damage. And healing is an important topic to talk about. And I'm telling you, your healing will only come from God. You cannot surround yourself with good people and think you're going to get over it. Healing from a spiritual battle can only come from God. And that's what I'm saying. So spend your time with him. Make him a priority. That's your only way out of it, with any sense of feeling healed and whole. It's your only way you're going to heal from any kind of trauma or abuse. So that's what you need most. You need your Bible, a good translation Bible that you can easily understand. I would recommend the Passion Translation, or, now I'm drawing a blank, the Message Bible. For me, those are the two Bibles that I get the most of. They're the easiest to read and understand. They keep my attention. My mind doesn't drift while I'm reading them. So if you're not a Bible person, there's a good place to start. Bible and time with God. That's your ticket to healing from any kind of trauma or abuse. So I said enough. This video long enough, so I'm going to cut it off there. I don't know what my next topic is, but I hope you'll come back. And once again, thank you for my new subscribers. I appreciate all of you. And I'm here for you. I'm doing this for you. I'm not making 1 red cent from these videos for 2 years now. I made not a single cent. So I'm here for you. I'm doing this for you. I really, in my older age, have developed such a love for people. And I just want to help people. That's my goal. I'm not out to get anybody. I'm not out to stick knife in and twist it. I'm really honest about what I've been through, and some people may not like that. But I love my family. I love my friends. I love my subscribers. And I'm here to help you. I really am. I do believe that's part of my journey, to turn my pain into purpose, to help people based on what I've been through. That's my goal. And if I don't make even a cent doing it, don't care. Really don't care. And I hope to see you next time. I hope you'll check back. I'll see you. I hope you have a great week coming up. And I'd love to hear your comments. I read all of them. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for staying till the end.